I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times, Wednesday, August 5th. News from Arkansas. Tom Cotton left the military some time ago to run for Congress and then the U.S. Senate, but he seems to be perpetually at war. He was quoted yesterday as making more warlike statements about Iran. He thinks the only solution in Iran is to have some surgical strikes on some of their nuclear facilities. Not a good idea to some people, certainly to lead to more military action, but he thinks it's the only way to deal with Iran. Cooler heads, we hope, might prevail. He's also at war on women. He's in the middle of an incessant social media campaign to say that he's defending life by voting against continued funding for Planned Parenthood through the federal government. It has nothing to do with abortion and life. It has everything to do with women's medical health services, from cancer screening to family planning services to all sorts of maternal health care. He's against it. There's been some blowback. I'm happy to say finally people are getting their feet back against the video incursions that have been mounted by anti-abortion activists. Elizabeth Warren gave a great speech in the U.S. Senate wondering whether the Republican senators want us to take us back to 1890. She, for one, intends to stand up for women's rights. I urge you to take a look at arkansasblog.com and see what she had to say about it and about Tom Cotton's opposition to medical health care for women. The Metro Plan issued for that planning agency its semi-annual report on demographics in the Pulaski County area. Some interesting figures. The metropolitan Little Rock area is managing to eke out just a little bit ahead of the U.S. growth rate, not by much, but a little bit. But there's some other interesting figures in their report. For one thing, housing starts at their lowest level in almost a quarter of a century. That's not a good sign for the economy. Poverty is growing everywhere in the United States. It's particularly growing in suburban cities that were places that people went to get away from decaying inner cities. Poverty can follow them. People do have cars, even if sometimes they have a hard time keeping them running when they're poor. And finally, what had once been a great surge in Latino population in central Arkansas has tailed off dramatically. Some of this, of course, is from our increased efforts to police the borders and keep people from immigrating illegally from other countries. An interesting note from the State Department of Correction this week: there is such a thing as a life sentence. Shirley Curry, who killed 5 people, her husband, 3 children, and an in-law in 1974, died of natural causes after more than 44 years really in custody at the women's prison in Newport. The Game and Fish Commission has proudly rolled out a new app for an Apple Watch. You can look at your Apple Watch now and it'll tell you if the sun is up or not. Kind of joking a little bit there. Precise sunrise times are important to hunters. Most of us, I think, though, can look up at the sky and decide if the sun's out there or not. But the Apple iPhone app that the Game and Fish use has been a big hit with hunters, and they've used it to report turkey and deer kills, among other things. And finally, let's call this a restaurant review to close for the day. Thanks to high-definition TV and my careful readers, I get a lot of comments about what I might or might not have had for lunch from the various stains on my shirt every day from coffee and what else. I'd like to put in a plug for what I did have for lunch today, and which is on my shirt again today, and that was a great Greek lamb burger with fried eggplant sticks at Cash Restaurant just down the street in the River Market. If you see it again as a special, I recommend it. Opa, I'm Max Brantley.